Alright, hey, welcome to another edition of JTJU, where we all try to be just a little better at the game of Clash of Clans. I got a new video format for you, JTJU in the Trench. That's where we send out a war correspondent, Runius by name, to one of our JTJU affiliates to see an attack that they call awesome, to make sure it actually is. And in this case, we're going to go over to East Side, where their clasher SS claims to have rolled a Town Hall 9 mid to entry level with his measly Town Hall 8 KH1 Hog Attack. Should be good. Let's take a look. Alright, so it's all first episodes ago. We had a glitch. Didn't record the audio as we wrote on it, so I'll have to interpret cave drawings from Neolithic clashers. But I think the first thing I was trying to do is walk through what you're looking at as you're looking at Town Hall 9 and how you might approach it as a Town Hall 8. And the big thing is with Town Hall 9 is how you handle the expos. And then you got the max one and you got the mid-level Town Hall 9 expo, so it's going to be a problem. A lot of people would post up golems coming from maybe like 830 or 230. But the thing that kind of gives you some hope there is that the rest of the defensive structures are a little bit under-leveled. So if you came in from like 830 or so, it would allow you to mitigate the risk that you had because you're coming more at the strong side to begin with and then move up to the weaker side at the end when your hogs would be kind of bleeding and struggling along and not wanting to take a lot of damage. So that would be one strategy to begin with. The other thing you want to be thinking about is how do you get your hogs into the mid? And that's one thing that I kind of like to see. Oh, we're going to start. Is it the pathing? Because if the expos are the big concern, the question you've got to be asking is how do you get as quickly as possible into the mid with your hogs? Granted, we've got a T-duct first, and this actually is a very well done T-duct. I mean, notice how he pulled out his troops, he drew them to 730 to start, and then came across to 9 in that kind of a right angle. What that does is it lets the slow troops take that shortcut while the faster troops take the longer path, and it ends up having them all be clustered together, which then turns into allowing your Wiz to be flanking on both sides in a very dense cluster of troops. Voila! Nobody dies, and it's a perfectly executed T-duct, my friends. Oh, and T-duct trigger, drag, clump, and kill. That's what T-duct stands for. And if you ever wonder what slang I'm talking about as I blather on, just go to the website and underneath a JTJ, some one of those sections, there's a slang page. It tells you all the different acronyms we have. But anyway, so we get to proceed, and here comes the hogs. Now the hog deployment actually was not that impressive. It's like just like a spam block coming in from 730. But what you're looking for as a Town Hall 8 going up against a Town Hall 9 is you've got to get the expos down, or tie them up with a KH1 team, right? So he's doing a good job in terms of the one expo. The mid-level one is focused in. He's got some fire from the defensive buildings coming in that are keeping his other forces, those witches that came out of CC, alive, which is going to be the other thing he's going to deal with as a Town Hall 8 trying to take out a 9. It's not often just the damage you're taking. It's all the buildings you got to take down. So you got to have a way to keep most of your troops alive so you can get everything burned down by 3-minute clock running out. But anyway, so he's done a great job of that. I mean, the deployment wasn't good in terms of like, wow, but he did a good job of the basics of bringing it in off the flank of the KH1 and driving in. Now look at the pathing though, because this is another key. When you're trying to get this to work, you've got to get the expos down as quickly as possible because they're the big damage dealers that you didn't see at Town Hall 8. And so look at the pathing off this. So you go, the mortar will go directly to that AD and then over to that Wiz Tower because it's a 2-hop jump, and then into the expo, and then through mid. So it's a 4-hop jump for the majority of hogs. I mean, there's a slight risk there that at that AD, you might have some of the hogs being on-reef creatures actually move over and go after that AD there. But, you know, I think most, if not all, will go into the Wiz Tower and then move through the mid. Enough to where you can feel confident you're going to get that Wiz Tower down when you got your heal on it and everything going on. The other thing notice is as you're looking at Town Hall 9s you want to take out from a Town Hall 8 perspective is you can't have the buried double big bombs. I mean, you're not going to survive. Your hogs aren't strong enough. Well, they never are. But it'll be too much for a hog-based attack. So don't try to pull this off if you can't defuse or don't have double giant bomb placements. But here we are, we're moving along. You can see that they did. Most hogs did move through mid, take out the expos. We did have some go down to that double big bomb placement, but the pathing was bad, which is why I wouldn't count it as a double big bomb, double giant bomb placement. But look up top. Now, another thing that's working out in his favor, and I don't know if you can actually choreograph this movement to where this happens consistently, but he's got his interior force moving along that inside channel, allowing his outside team of witches and some wizards to clear all that clutter. Those two things together allow that to get done in time without losing a lot of troops, because at the front of his interior team there, you can see he's got the king, he's got, I think the golem is still up even, moving along with him. So it's that kind of serendipity, almost like it kind of fell into it probably, or maybe a little bit by chance, but the two forces work together. I mean, the base design's bad because notice how it's a racetrack design. So if you're building a base as a Town Hall 9, this is the problem with racetrack design, where you have a clear channel walking all the way around the base. It allows troops to continue to move through. Either way, though, SS, a great attack. I mean, it's not often you see a Town Hall 8 taking out a mid-level Expo and a max Expo on a Town Hall 9. I say let's go for a bonus round. Supposedly, Eastside said that number 7's attack was also awesome. So shall we try for the double dip? Let us see if there are actually 2 pounds of awesome in the Eastside clan. I'm gonna hit replay here pretty soon. Yeah, there it is. There it is right now. Okay, so he's doing what looks to be a mass drag attack with rage and archers. So first off, I'm like, oh my god. We typically do not endorse that type of attack, but you know, it clearly worked. I mean, it was a 3-star. But you have to be wondering how he's going to approach this base, because when I look at it, what I see there is an 8655. So he's going to have some leeway, right? Oh, actually, it's 2. It's 2. It's 8665, so it's less leeway than I thought. But still, anytime you've got at least one AD that's not max, the option of air will work. But when you see that spread formation, the thing that concerns me with the mass drags is you typically are thinking 813, lighting one of the ADs, attacking one individually, and then backsiding the last one with your loons. But he doesn't do that. He's massing in, and he's using 2 rages side by side to press at the same time the 2 ADs there. And this is the part where he gets lucky, right? Because he actually then will slowly get around and actually get that final weaker AD off the backside. But he does do some good stuff. This Archer deployment and the Barbarian King off the 3 o'clock position are a great example of 2 things. One, he recognized the clutter and brought the archers with him to clear that out to keep the dragons in the mid. But he also dropped, did you watch the timing of that Barbarian King drop? It was ahead of when his troops actually began to get fire, so that the king moved into range and started taking fire, so that when the dragons showed up, they weren't even targeted, because, you know, the archer tower was totally focused on, this archer tower was totally focused, instead of on the dragons, on that Barbarian King. And the same could be said for that dragon up there at 1130. He's not getting shot at because the archer tower there at 130 is shooting the Barbarian King. Use your Barbarian King. And so great job by Draco of the Barbarian King distract. I mean, I may give him a hard time about using rage and mass dragons, but that actual piece was pretty good. And it shows, I think, he actually thought about that cluster, because what you don't want is have the dragons swinging way out to 3. So I'm not actually against dropping 1 dragon and pumping in 20 archers if you got a setup like that. That I'm okay with. All the rage and the mass dragons makes me a little more heebie-jeebie. Because you can see right now, he's at a point in the attack where there's not a lot left. I mean, he's got that 1 dragon way up top, not a lot of risk. The king is now down. And luckily, he's able to get it down and get over to the other guy. But look at how many troops are left. We got that lonely archer down there at 330, and we've got 3 dragons, which you might say is, oh, that's pretty good. 1 or 2 mines, he could be in big trouble. I have no idea what that is. Is that some kind of picture of a nose? But why we would say, like, hey man, why did you do this mass dragon with rage, is the amount of troops left. And what we look for is to maximize the troops left on the typical attack, and that's why over time in JTJ we've moved to 105, 11 light, 813, because those types of attacks against the bases that they're profiled for, will have you ending your attacks with more dragons than you see here, which allows you to have more stupid time where you make mistakes. Because that mistake time is going to cost you in blood, right? You're going to lose more troops than you have, and you may end up, 99%ing or something like that. So, Draco, I am not dogging what we might call the purple rain attack here, but what I am challenging is like, hey, think about, which attack is that the most efficient attack for the way the base was laid out. Alright, that wraps up the first edition of In the Trench. Hope it helps you Town Hall 8s roll those Town Hall 9s. Otherwise, good luck in your clan wars. I'll talk to you soon.
Don't touch that, Larry.
Touch it, Larry. You know you want to.
Larry, don't touch
Larry,
that.
do it. Do it, Larry.
Larry!
Yes! And so Larry joined the ranks of JTJU, and his life was never the same.
What'd I just say, Larry?
Good job, Larry.